Hello, everybody, and welcome back to ESL's King of the Hill. My name is TJ, and I am joined once again by That's Admirable. And Admirable, you know what time it is?
It's Overwatch time.
Indeed, it is. It's Overwatch time. We had Hearthstone earlier in the day, but now it's time for Overwatch. And I'm excited, Admirable. Are you excited?
Oh, I am hyped. Now, not quite as hyped as George Magazzini, but I'm still pretty darn hyped for this one.
Yeah, definitely. This is, of course, the second week of King of the Hill, but it's the first week of Overwatch. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rules. Today's going to be a four-team single elimination bracket. It's going to be best of 5, of course, with stopwatch rules. And the winner of that 4-team bracket will get $1,000 in return as the king for next week.
Yeah, I mean, over the course of 8 weeks, you keep racking up those king spots. That's quite a bit of cash you can put in your pocket for winning some matches of Overwatch.
Indeed it is. And let's take a look at the teams that we're going to see compete today. Complexity versus Selfless right off the bat, and then Team Liquid versus Sody Pop, some of North America's top Overwatch talent in this first week.
Yeah, to kind of give you an idea of where these guys sit in the Overwatch Open standings, these guys are actually pretty high up there in the bracket. Of the teams that haven't automatically qualified so far, Complexity is actually first in points. Liquid is number 3 in points. Sody Pop is number 4 in points, and Selfless is number 6 in points. So a lot of talent coming in for North America.
Yeah, definitely excited for that. And there you go. You can take a look at the schedule. Of course, Complexity versus Selfless up first. Team Liquid versus Sody Pop up second. And then, of course, that third match, that final match, we will crown the first king for the ESL Overwatch King of the Hill. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I am super stoked about this one. You know, I was super stoked about it right when I heard about it, and now we're here and we're live. I cannot wait to see how these guys take on the map pool, because that is also looking incredibly awesome to me. One of my favorite maps is in this pool with Route 66.
Yeah, Route 66. Oh, man. Not seen very often, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. Yep. First off, though, guys, every single week there's an open portion to the King of the Hill. So if you want a chance to play against some of the best teams in North America, if you think your squad, your team has the potential to maybe upset one of these guys, if you want to participate in the King of the Hill, you can sign up at esl.gg/KOTHOW, or stands for King of the Hill Overwatch. We'll have a King of the Hill for the next 6 or 7 weeks, and every week the team that wins the Open will be seeded into the King of the Hill bracket for that week and have a chance to upset the team that's currently on the throne. So make sure you get out there and do that if you think you got what it takes.
Absolutely. You got to build that tournament experience. You know, in Hearthstone, I'm asked a lot how people get started in the tournament scene. Yeah. The answer is opens that lead into features like this. It's kind of the same thing for Overwatch. I imagine there's a lot of teams out there who want to know where they get started. Yeah. Well, you get started in something like this. You get featured on stream. You get a chance to take down some of the big boys, win yourself some big bucks.
Indeed.
It's a way to do it.
Today we're going to be seeing the first king, so you'll be seeing your first competition maybe if you go ahead and sign up. Let's start talking about that first match of the day. Yeah. It is going to be Complexity versus Selfless. Of course, Complexity, brand new. They just got sort of transferred over from Team Solo Mid, and previously before that, Code 7. They've been around for a while, and they've had a lot of success recently, especially.
Yeah, and something that's about their play style just a little bit more. I would call them a fairly standard team. A lot of times they tend to favor some more heavy DPS. They'll roll with like a 3 DPS comp.
Yeah.
But in terms of just them as an actual team, I really feel like that Complexity is the team that's threatening that top spot behind Envious coming into this one. And so I feel like that puts a lot of pressure on Selfless. They have a ton to prove in this match, because I think out of these 4 teams, they're fairly clear underdog.
Yeah. And going into the first map, of course, okay, so today the first 2 matches, it's going to be default Route 66 as the first map. And then the losing team gets to choose the map from a limited pool beyond that. And we'll go over the limited pool a little more in depth later, but Numbami, Temple of Anubis, Ilios, Hollywood, and Nepal are the maps that they can choose from beyond that. If there's ever a tie, the automatic tiebreaker map is going to be automatic Lijiang. So pretty interesting pool of maps, and I'm really excited to start off on Route 66.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my favorite ones. Ready to get busy. The good old US of A. Unfortunately, that train is broken down. Yeah. And they have to fight under the remnants of it. So here we go. Shake going to be on that Zenyatta. Torque on that. McCree loves to play that one. Hardblue, Roadhog, JKW. On Reinhardt, Nicholas. On Tracer, Joe Meister, of course, playing the support. He always does. Rob Wiz on the other side for Selfless. Going to be starting things off with Genji. Chili on Zenyatta, Michael 3D on that Winston, Dak on Lucio, Juvenile on Diva, and Iman on Tracer. And so trying to hold sort of the further back choke points, stay on top of Big Earls there, and make sure you can get something underway here. Hardblue, it's taken down there by RobWiz. It's return killed by Torque. Sort of an interesting open here, just trading off kills. I mean, I feel like that's really what's going to happen. Oh, wow, nice pick by Torque there. Wow, great shots. Taking out Dak as well. Winston's going to jump on top of this one. Gets knocked off with that Discord orb. Wow, Torque is just going completely unchecked here. I mean, no one's touched him.
Yeah, he's doing some work. Selfless had an okay opening. They were able to get a couple pickoffs, but now they're in a lot of trouble having to sort of play from the back foot here. But overall, standard team compositions for the most part coming out from both teams as far as the current meta goes.
Yeah, Lucio Zenyatta just becoming really the standard support metagame. Mercy rotated out quite a bit since they increased that ultimate, not only but kind of the introduction of Zenyatta. You know, there's maybe one map, where Zenyatta was a viable pick, but for the most part, that health pool prior to the patch was really keeping it under wraps, and since then we've seen a lot of it. So RobWiz gonna jump in here. There's the Dragon Blade, knocks out Hardblue right away, looking for something on top of Big Earls. And look at that catch right there, that Discord orb. Trying to do a good job of stay up there, but JKW gets knocked down as well. So RobWiz gonna hide away from that Discord, and well, that's a little bit out of position there. Not quite the spot you want to be, but ends up picking up the kill anyway. And it looks like Torque of the Crew just gonna be able to hold that one off.
Yeah, Selfless had a pretty good opening. RobWiz going in with the Dragon Blade, but it just seems like they get stopped in their tracks as soon as they go for an aggressive push every single time here.
Yep. Just kind of the way the crossfire's set up and the advantage of the high ground just keeps placing him back in that same position. I mean, they need to get a big entry here, take out multiple members, keep going. Michael 3D taking some serious damage from Nicholas here. Iman trying to sneak his way into the back. That duel's going to be something in the meantime. Look at Nicholas taking some serious damage. Iman.
Yeah.
And recalls from each of them. So just reset it.
This is one of the reasons why some of these competitive teams don't like Route 66 is because you pop up on Big Earls, and it's such a tough checkpoint to break.
There we go. Self-destruct, trying to force out some position. Nothing to be happening. Iman gets picked off, and RobWiz being held back a little bit too. Nicholas is just in such an annoying position to be able to attack this backline. They have to watch this flank. All that tension pulled means it's harder to focus on that front line. Earthshatter comes out right there. RobWiz getting beat up. Knocked down by that Reinhardt. Switched over to McCree to try to get this done. Transcendence coming out, make sure we can get this healed, and boom, Michael 3D in that monkey mode. Not going to be an easy one to take down, but this is really the progress that's being made right here. Can't really find a nice target, but the team has picked up some nice kills. Iman took out Nicholas in that one. There's a Transcendence to try to delay just as long as possible. This is stopwatch, so all the time that's bought is very valuable here. It looks like Selfless is going to be moving this payload quite a bit, but the extra time bought here, again, means a lot. I mean, just every time you delay, makes it that much easier for you on the attack.
Yeah, it means a whole lot, especially if you're confident in defense on this map. Just getting as far as you can is going to be the go-to strategy here. And, you know, picking off a couple members of Complexity again, but RobWiz and Chili are both going to go down. And Complexity uses a few ultimates here. Transcendence was used.
That Shake, that whole hog's not going to get the job done again. They're trying to buy time a little bit here, but just Iman has been unchecked. He's put out so much damage over the course of this fight. Just continues to pile up. Nice trace there on Torque. Oh, nice mine as well, but that Earthshatter.
Uh-oh. Well, they should be able to get this to the next checkpoint in this overtime. They do have a couple members down, and the travel time back to this payload should be enough to get them there.
I mean, it's a long way to run.
Oh, yeah.
From that one. So Selfless finally takes it. And Complexity actually expended quite a few ultimates over the course of that as well. So Selfless looking like they might be able to utilize that sound barrier. Maybe RobWiz with the Deadeye to buy them some space. I mean, Complexity's got some building to do for these ultimates if they want to hold off a big push. Oh, Hardblue's going around for that flank. I mean, I feel like this is just something he does all the time, is flank with this Roadhog. It's almost like obvious. Picks off RobWiz. That's not a good one.
And any pick off.
Oh, here we go. Torque looking for the big kills. Doesn't find anything just yet. It's discorded. But it looks like it's being held off. I mean, when Hardblue gets that flank, that's like something he's known for too, is he just takes this big lumbering guy around the corner and somehow sneaks up on you.
Yeah, every pick that they get at this stage is absolutely crucial, considering that they actually got that first checkpoint in overtime, so they don't have much time to get through this very large checkpoint. That's the second one on Route 66. So they're really going to have near flawless play if they're going to want to escort this payload.
Yeah, Rob was looking for something. Not going to happen. Nicholas with the Quadra.
Annihilated.
Unreal. That mine was so good from Nicholas. Just everything being held off. So that's pretty much, I think, going to stop this in the tracks. I mean, 30 seconds left to make some progress. We're talking need to go madhouse if they're going to make some real progress here.
Yeah, basically one big push is all they have left, and they do have Transcendence, but no big ultimates other than that to try and secure this push. Earthshatter's almost up, but no Graviton Surge.
He's trying to funnel him in the right spot. Oh, picks off Chili. Such good aim from Torque.
Picks off Chili while Chili had Transcendence up. That's a huge deal.
Yeah, that's a really big one. And Dax is likely to fall in here as well. Yep, nice flashbang. Juvenile and crew just stuck in the wrong spot. Earthshatter not going to get the job done. Here we go. Not quite. Nice recall there. There's the Graviton Surge, but I think it's not going to get the job. Well, JKW does fall in the middle of that, so Torque is going to fall to RobWiz as well. Nice Dragon Blade there from RobWiz to pick up a couple of kills in the midst of that Graviton Surge. So overtime ticking away, but progress is being made. I mean, and this is important. If they can manage to keep complexity from the amount of progress that they're making, that's really where they think they have a chance. Yeah. So that fight is really critical. It's just giving them those extra few percentage points they need.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. This has to be a miracle push from Selfless.
That was a nice dash through there. Caught a lot of folks in that one. Trying to isolate the Zenyatta. Not quite gonna work. Just too fancy of a footwork there for Shake. Just shaking and baking. Hardblue shot pretty low, but there we go. Round one is complete. We'll get the time as soon as we can. Looks like 7-something. We'll get this figured out. 7:05 is the time to beat for that checkpoint plus the distance.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's Complexity's turn now. Of course, we talked about it coming into this, but Complexity has to be very heavy favorites. You know, with their recent success, they just have overall better results than Selfless. Selfless has sort of been floating in that, you know, that 5th through 8th slot in the North American Overwatch teams. And they really need to have that one breakthrough performance that's going to push them into the conversation of like top 3, top 4 teams in North America. And, you know, being the king of the hill in a situation like this one where there's so many big teams vying for it would get them into the conversation at least for one of those top teams.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with just kind of the way that the roster in that 6 slot's moving a little bit around. I know they had Sakari playing a little bit in the spot. Chili's playing in the spot now. You know, that 6th person really molding the rest of the team is so important. I mean, we've seen that happen with, I mean, just so many teams not being able to get like the exact person they need. I mean, I even think of like Liquid, for instance, who that 6th spot has just been, you know, it's one Dummy, it was Kefri, this week Waz is going to be playing. Rounding that out is really important. It's, you know, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's a team game. Yeah. And if you're not functioning as a single unit, that one weak spot can cost you a lot. I mean, you know, everyone has to be able to perform, and when you're not used to each other as teammates, that affects the big picture. Yeah.
All right, well, going into the Complexity's attack here, a little bit different of a comp switch up here just for Selfless now that they're on defense. RobWiz is going to go over to the Reaper actually to open this up.
Yeah. Going to be trying to just find himself some nice spots to get a couple picks. I mean, a lot of this coming in with the Reaper too might just be that they need to continue to get a pick after pick after pick and just hold this as long as possible, because holding this first one this long is going to be tough.
Yeah. I mean, now they know exactly what they have to do to win this map. And that's got to be scary for Selfless defending against Complexity.
And, oh, wow. Iman with 2 crazy headshots. Woo! He's got the hot hand. Yo, wiggling in my chair here. Some damage on the Genji. So a lot of this is kind of like the ult building phase. Yeah. Where neither team is really willing to make a big commitment here. And just as I say that, of course, Torque goes in. Yeah. It's knocked down very quickly. And here's RobWiz. Oh, gets in the back there. Putting out that damage. Hardblue, a little bit of a duel here. Nice sprint for that health pack. And Nicholas, the remaining target here. So it looks like Selfless actually going to hold off this first point fairly successfully.
Yeah.
That was a really clean hold, and a lot of that, I think, was thanks to Iman and just that pick on the side with Tracer.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, also on this map, as the attackers, you can take a few more risks early on. Since you are just so close,
yeah,
you can try and go for, like, those crazy sweeps early, where you isolate the payload and just get it moving really far very early on. And I think that's what Nicholas was going for, you know, taking that risky position, go around the back, and there's a pulse bomb!
Great pulse bomb. That's a lot of damage put out there, and look, here we go. JKW is going to get dropped in this one. Juvenile's going down. Robwiz is going down. Nicholas just putting out work. That pulse bomb, it actually didn't pick up a kill, but it just dealt so much damage.
And it forced the rest of them outwards towards the rest of the team there. So really nice placement. And actually gets a second pulse bomb available, but dies before he's able to get that down. But the thing is, here now, the payload's moving.
Yeah, that was a nice, that was actually a nice prediction from Nicholas on that recall too.
Yeah.
Just happened to not be in the right spot, so Torque trying to get something done. Robwiz.
Oh my goodness!
Blast out with the Death Blossom, but I'll tell you what, I too would experience tranquility if a sentient robot was able to mend my wounds. JKW just getting mashed down here by Robwiz, putting out a lot. They need to check Rob here.
Yeah, that Reaper's really doing some work, and they are going to get the stop.
Yeah, I mean, nobody checked Robwiz the whole time. He got like 4 kills in a row, it felt like.
Yeah. I mean, they did an okay job sort of stopping the bleeding there from the Death Blossom, but, you know, Reaper's got more than a Death Blossom.
Yeah, he's got dual-wielding shotguns that he just throws away.
Yeah.
Where does he keep the rest of those?
You don't want to know.
Juvenile looking for that Earth Shatter. Oh, nails 4 in it. Unbelievable ult from Juvenile. Robwiz gonna wipe him out with a quadra kill on the Death Blossom. Boys, it's looking like Selfless may hold this first point.
That was insane. Torque, the only player from Complexity to survive that, and that is what they needed. They're going to be able to hop back on Big Earls, stop him on this checkpoint, and that was incredible. Now they
speed boost in. Here we go. This is a big fight here. Michael 3D's got that Graviton Surge looking in the back. Nice job from him. But Torque, he's going crazy with that Dragon Blade. Nobody's being dropped though. Chili has the Transcendence out, and one by one, Robwiz and Juvenile, Emot, they just drop him. Like no effort involved, it felt like. That Graviton Surge set up the entire fight.
And they're just wombo comboing. So they comboed the Death Blossom with Earth Shatter, and then they used Graviton Surge the second time around. Now Earth Shatter's back up, and Death Blossom's back up.
Here we go. This is actually the last one right here. Iman gets a nice pulse bomb on the Harblue there, and with that main tank gone, Robwiz just gonna let loose with that Death Blossom, just try to buy as much time as possible. They're getting picked off. Nicholas is the last one alive. There's no way he can fight that.
Wow, and that's another wipe again, and that's gonna be Selfless stopping the push. Wow.
Wow. I mean, I have to say on that particular side of it that Robwiz has got to be pretty darn close to MVP on that. He just went madhouse with the damage output. Nicholas here with his play of the game. And you can check a look at this pulse bomb.
There we go.
Oh
Earth Shatter into pulse bomb, and the quadra kill. Pretty nuts. Unfortunately, didn't matter much.
Yeah.
But
well, it did matter. It did a little bit mattered much. I mean, just the, the momentum from that. Meaning quite a bit in that one. Just, wow, what a job from Selfless to hold that first point. I honestly didn't think they were going to get it when that first fight was kind of breaking out, but they ended up picking up the pieces and just kind of rolling the fight back in their favor.
Yeah,
and then after that, they built up that ult advantage, and they just it felt like they kept it the entire game.
Just the ult control from Selfless on that defense was, I mean, it was impeccable. You know, just saving. Graviton Surge was held onto, and Earth Shatter was held onto, and they made sure that they split them apart on each wave of defense and comboed it with Death Blossom. And the fact that Robwiz was able to recharge the Death Blossom so quickly was sort of the key to them winning those fights back to back to back.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a big deal. The communication clearly really on point for Selfless in this one. Again, like you mentioned, it's really hard to hold the Graviton Surge when you see that Earth Shatter come out. It's like that, you're like, oh, they're stuck here. We got them.
Yeah.
But just the fact that they got steamrolled in that Earth Shatter, holding on to the Graviton Surge meant the next fight could go the same way. Just ran right behind JKW, blasted off the Graviton Surge, and that alone, when you just hold people in that place, you can isolate targets that are outside of the Graviton Surge. Right after that, you can collapse on the members that are caught in it afterwards. Just beautiful team play from Selfless in that map.
Now, while Selfless is up 1-0, we are going to move into game number 2 in just a moment. Before we do that, we'll be right back after this quick break.
Welcome to ESL 1 Cologne.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the ESL King of the Hill Overwatch edition. My name is TJ, I'm joined by That's Admirable. And about to jump into game number 2 between Complexity and Selfless. Selfless has a 1-0 lead, and since Complexity did lose that map, it means they do get to choose the next map.
Yep. And
it is from a limited pool.
Yeah.
So the pool is Numbani, Temple of Anubis, Ilios, Hollywood, or Nepal.
Yeah.
Not sure. Popular choice probably seemed like Hollywood, especially with like Dorado out of the map pick, Kings Row out of the map pick. But since they have sort of the advantage here, and on paper they probably feel like they're the stronger team, maybe they want to go to a map that maybe these teams aren't as comfortable with. Not quite sure.
Definitely a possibility. I mean, the fact that Selfless took the first map, this is a spot where I feel like Complexity needs to kind of reevaluate, maybe sweat a little bit here. Given that I feel like Selfless is just, again, clearly the underdog in this one. To kind of give you an idea, Selfless in their last 10 matches are 4-6 overall. And they've played Complexity twice in their last 10 matches as well, where they've dropped both matches to them.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm wondering, has Selfless figured something out about Complexity specifically, or is Complexity just getting kind of, kind of ahead of themselves here, where they're just overconfident with it? You know, does this new team change recently, does that shake anything up? You know, a lot of stuff is kind of going on outside of the game for them, as well with the roster swap. So curious if that's at all playing into effect here, and if it is, how much?
Yeah, very true.
Got beat.
It felt like they kept just throwing themselves at the end there. I mean, it was sort of out of desperation, but it is going to be Hollywood.
Yeah, Rob going to stay on that Reaper, and why not after the performance you just had?
Yeah. Die is right.
Yep, here we go.
And
Nicholas is going to be jumping on that Reaper as well, so no Tracer onto this one. Michael 3D, is he sticking with, I mean, he's got to stick with May at this point. This is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that wall. Already isolates 2 of them. Hardblue caught on the other side. Free kill. Let's see where the rest of this goes. Is that Nicholas in the back somewhere?
Yeah. Well,
Maywall is just, that's a great strategy, actually. As soon as you see 1 or 2 cross, you wall it and try to isolate those 2 targets and get the picks. That's a great idea.
Yeah, this choke point can be one of the hardest choke points to break just because there's not a big entrance. You know, right around that SUV is the toughest. That surveillance room is just about your only, option for an alternative flank, and even that just funnels right into exactly where Selfless wants.
Torque misses that flashbang though for a couple of the kills here, but it's not really quite there for them. Complexity just getting picked apart. Well, now some good return kills going on here. So Hardblue and crew looking for some real stuff here. Shake, Torque, and Hardblue. They kind of split up a little bit. Michael 3D with that nice block there. Yeah, freezing Torque looking for it. Can he get it? Not finding the kill, but finds Dak. I'll tell you what, though, the big thing about that Deadeye was that it bought them so much space to work their way onto the point. That's great communication there. Knows his teammates are coming in, goes ahead and lets the Deadeye rip. You got to get out of the way, or that's it.
Yeah, now Selfless sort of just staggering their deaths, not what you want to happen in this scenario. They want to try and coordinate one big push back onto the point here. But Complexity got that payload moving.
Don't like me. Level 2, please. Hold on.
All right, well, he's got a good position right up here. McCree and May using that shield to try and get some damage in, get those ultimates charged back up.
Can't really escape that. But usually when you have a giant fireball traveling towards your face, you don't just so casually move to the side.
Yeah.
Demon, though.
Oh, there's the Deadeye.
Looking for it. Great overhead spot here for him. Oh, that's going to be some kills there. Picks up Joe Meister. JKW looking for that return, but it's not going to be there. That freeze. I'll tell you what, Selfless is looking great on this particular fight. On that first one, that's a pretty tough spot to hold, I think, once they kind of get that entry position. And then again, that Deadeye created so much space for them. But on this particular hold right here, this was like textbook.
Yeah. And they did a great job of regrouping. I talked about those staggered deaths, but they regrouped. They weren't greedy. They gave up, you know, a lot of space for that payload, but then found a good area to hold and held onto it well. Coordinized to push back onto it and almost completely wiped Complexity. But Joe Meister used a sound barrier there at the end, but effectively just to escape for himself. So now they don't have that available if they want to make another push. Still long ways away from being recharged.
Now there's the Graviton Surge coming out. Hold it in place, and RobWiz going crazy with that Dragon Blade. It's swapped back over to Genji, of course, because this map has so much that Z-axis involved in it. Oh, they're grouped over there in that corner. That's going to be bad news. Yeah, RobWiz just picking up kill after kill.
Oh, man.
Resetting those dashes over and over again, and that's an easy way to swing the fight with Genji, is when you keep getting those resets.
Yeah, Complexity just kind of seems a little bit lost here. These pushes that they're trying to make aren't coordinated. They went a little bit aggressive, again, without sound barrier to follow that up. And now they're a little bit ways away from a couple key ultimates, Earthshatter. But unfortunately, it looks like Selfless just has a good position to hold on to this. And RobWiz once again going back around for the flank.
Torque needs to win this duel really hard. Nice slash there. So trying to get away as RobWiz does have that Orbital Harmony on. Good heal going. Michael 3D just freezing Hardblue at the back, and Juvenile starts to hammer away on that side. Yeah, they're just getting dropped. And I'll tell you what, everything is going Selfless' way. They did lose a few more members that time, but that was amidst the Earthshatter from JKW as well. So a lot used for basically no progress. And as you mentioned, that kind of seems to be the case. A lot of ultimates getting used, staggered, and no progress being made with it. And so you take a look at where the percentages lie. Sure, they're getting close to it again with Joe Meister and having Shake 2 defensive ultimates. That's great, but you need some sort of offense in there as well. So Tracer's going to get built really quickly, and potentially Torx as well. But it's kind of be now. Iman and Michael 3D do suffer quite a bit of damage there.
Yeah. I think Complexity's got to sort of wait for one big push and then go for a coordinated and use that momentum.
Sound barrier. It is just chaos going on in the midst of this. And look at Iman. He's just completely unchecked. There goes Torque with that Dragon Blade, though. Hunting for the picks. Hop, skipping, and jumping around. Looks like Complexity is going to take this one. That was some great timing there from Torque on that ultimate. I mean, so much chaos was going on in the midst of that. He found the right corner, pulled out that Dragon Blade, and just started picking away at those backline targets. That's just easy pickings for him.
I'm pretty sure they said, Torque, you have to carry, because they didn't even have any other ultimates available for that fight. They just said, we have to move this payload, you have to Dragon Blade and take them all out. And now look at it. Look at it, they have Graviton Surge available, they have Earthshatter available, they have these ultimates available, and they just want to fight, so they might be able to use this momentum to get a really big push on this payload.
Yeah, they're going to need the ultimates here too. This is a very difficult choke point to break through. I mean, there's really only 2 spots to go, and your opponent kind of knows when you're going towards them. So there's Hardblue trying to land something. Doesn't catch much though. Catches Juvenile. Catches Iman, but
yeah, I think that was...
Oh, nice charge there on the pin. Hardblue caught in a really bad spot. He's going to get cornered pretty quickly. Nicholas can try to pick this up as well with Torque, and so drop on that side, but I'll tell you what, Juvenile not being there, that's going to make it a lot easier for Complexity to keep this push going. I mean, it's hard to fight when you don't have all that excess there. I can't believe that Complexity actually pulled back that fight in the corner. It felt like everyone was in a bad spot.
Yeah, I think though, if you're the team that's pushing on this map, you love the chaos.
Oh, the Earthshatter, but Transcendence save everyone again. RobWiz, look at the damage he's putting out. Needs to find higher priority targets. Finds there, and it's that dash, but I don't know if it's going to work. JKW is just hammering away. Michael 3D trying to get the job done, but he's basically alone at this point. Yep, I think this is going to do it. Yep, not in time. Just great pushes there. I mean, it kind of Complexity just winning all the duels on that side.
Yeah, and 6 minutes, 57 seconds there for Complexity. You know, it looked a little bit rough at the start.
Yeah.
But they managed to get it. I think that's overall, you know, a pretty slow time. They did get stopped a lot, especially that momentum towards that mid game, right after they, took that capture point, got the payload moving, and went by towards the saloon. They really just got wiped 3 times in a row, I think. They staggered their ultimates, but then they managed to get it together, and basically one fight that they won, which was effectively just
kind of on the back of Torque.
Yeah, Torque just going off. They were managed to just ride that momentum. Payload never stopped moving. They were able to take the map.
Look at that. That's a terrifying thing. I don't think they would be using those kind of props in 2061, though. I mean, that's just me.
Yeah.
2060, whatever year, 66 maybe? I don't know. It's way far. 76 even? It's so far in the future. Who even knows? Kind of old school movie theater. You know, every time I think about the future, I picture like the Back to the Future movies and like how wrong they were about stuff.
Yeah. You think Overwatch is wrong?
I don't know. I mean, everything looks so normal aside from like the Omnics and stuff like that.
Yeah. The #1 mystery that will still never be solved, even however many years in the future, will be where does Reaper keep getting all those guns?
I mean, this is just a waste at this point. Like, come on, man. Those have to be expensive. Look at those things.
Yeah, he actually just throws down the guns and then picks up the guns that he just threw down.
He remembers where he put them.
Yeah. Self-loading guns.
A little tiny baby Reaper runs by and reloads them for him.
His son.
Reaper, the third of his name, of Reaper Brookshire.
Master Reloader.
Check him out. D.Va, I feel like, is so good on this first point. Like, you just need to be able to kind of stop stuff. Tax just peeking around. Is anyone hiding back here? It'd be really bad. Nicholas, you see, on that Reaper.
Yeah.
No Tracer shenanigans going on this game, and that's why that D.Va's so good, able to get this clean entry. We'll see if they can convert this. Chili and Robwiz Juvenile, they all get dropped so quickly, but not before they get Shake. JKW Joe Meister going to get picked up in the meantime too, but it's pretty much going to wrap this one up. I don't think Selfless can do this much. Oh, that could be important. Oh, yep, it's taken down there. Nicholas, too good a aim on that one. I'll tell you what, though. If Emon had gotten that kill, that would have been a completely different position, I think.
Yeah.
Because suddenly you're in panic mode. Like, I feel like when the Tracer gets the first kill, you're like, oh no, not me too. Yeah, more big pushes. Selfless kind of just brute forcing their way onto this. And Chili's getting dropped the entire time, but they're getting a pick on the return as well.
It seems to be Selfless's style when they're on offense. They kind of just try and cause chaos and use that chaos to their advantage.
Oh,
and I think D.Va's just really good about that.
Nicholas looking for it.
There it is.
Hello, goodbye. Double kill for him, and that Graviton Surge kind of wasted, I think, at that spot. Michael 3D just not really using it at the right time, and that's going to be a pretty significant ultimate advantage for Complexity.
Yeah, I think what Michael 3D did was he was just trying to stop as much damage as possible from the follow-up on the Death Blossom. He saw 3 people grouped up, and he's just like, you know what, I'm just going to throw it out.
Yeah. See,
but that's not what you really want. You know, three of your teammates just died.
Here we go, Dragon Blade from Torque. Jumping his way in. Look at the damage being poured out from Torque on this one. Looking for this one. Michael 3D is going to get dropped. Finds himself a Juvenile. That is a big team kill for Complexity. 0 members taken down.
Yeah, effectively 4 kills for Torque alone, and that seems to be the story of this Hollywood map for Complexity, is just Torque going off on Genji.
Yep, does main that Genji. It's definitely one of his favorites. Here we go, another one. The Earthshatter's going to catch Dak. Front line self-destruct, trying to get something done, but JKW just tanks it with the shield.
Yeah, and
classic definition of a tank.
This brute force strategy is not working.
Yeah.
Selfless needs to try and build up a lot of ultimates at once and then go in and use it. Right now we have Death Blossom, and Graviton Surge is getting close for Michael 3D. So once they have both of those, they might be able to make a combo to go for a push. But right now, they haven't even gotten this point to even start moving the payload.
Kind of a bad spot. Joe Meister get that kill on Robwiz. Chili. I mean, this is just looking really bad. Emon's going to have to get some big damage here, and it's just not going to happen. He's just outmatched so much at this point. Does take out Shake, but yeah, you can see the return kills. Again, sort of the brute force. It kind of looks to me like Selfless is uncomfortable on this map.
Yeah.
And that's kind of forcing them into these positions where they feel like, well, let's just go for it and see what happens. Like that's this is kind of what more I expected on the first map as well, but they held the defense perfectly.
Yeah, and maybe Complexity just wasn't used to Route 66.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
It's not
as well.
a map that's played that often in competitive play if they have the choice.
Oh, nice pin there. Robwiz, some good picks here. Orc again with that Dragon Blade. Gonna drop Dak, gonna drop Iman. That's gonna do it.
Nobody else to kill.
Yeah,
He's like, I'm looking for somebody.
It's like, oh, you guys did the rest of it.
All right, well, that looks like it is gonna be the end.
Yep. Easy take.
Wow.
For Complexity. What a defense. And just a complete turnaround again from game number 1. Complexity, you know, again, some of the offenses looked a little bit shaky at points in this one, but Hollywood could just kind of be one of those maps with that vertical axis being such a big deal. Iman just kept finding himself in good spots to just get free damage. And then eventually in the last fight, when during that second phase of Hollywood, where Torque just poured out so much damage, that was the big difference, I think, towards that centerpiece. But Selfless just not able to pick up the first one. Again, they just kind of brute forced it over and over again. Nothing give.
When you're brute forcing into one of the best Genjis in North America, it's going to be tough for you to do much of anything as Complexity stops them before they even get that control point or that payload moving. So we're going to tie up the series 1-1.
Yep.
We got ourselves a series.
Love it.
I love
Best
it.
of 5.
Yeah.
One apiece. Now best of 3.
Yeah.
Except that Selfless is going to be the one who chooses the map here.
Indeed, yeah. Since they were the ones who lost, after every match, it's the team that loses that ends up choosing the map. So we are going to go to game number 3 in just a moment. But before we do that, we are going to have to go to a quick break, so we'll be right back.
Get your team apparel now at shop.eslgaming.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to ESL's King of the Hill. Once again, I'm TJ, joined by That's Admirable, and getting pretty well underway with match number 1 of the day between Complexity and Selfless. It's all tied up 1-1. Selfless lost the last map on Hollywood, so they're going to get the map pick. The maps up remaining: Numbani, Temple of Anubis, Ilios, and Nepal. Okay, so it is going to be Numbani. We just got word. Okay. All the other ones are kind of weird, so I'm not. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Go with Numbani. Ilios, Nepal, and Temple of Anubis are all.
Yeah. So
not seen in competitive when they have the choice, but you know that's the beauty of a limited map pool. Is we get to see these guys play maps that they're not necessarily.
Look, you're going to have to do something uncomfortable. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like it. And there it is.
It's 2030. That's not very old.
Old Glenn.
I mean, it's 14 years from now.
Yeah. It's oil. It's organic oil.
I drink it.
Yeah.
Get drunk. Oh, I'd see Lucio in concert. When's that coming around? 2068. I'm there. Going in the body.
All right. Well, we might see some interesting choices as far as picks go on this map.
Very common map to see Winston's on. This is a very different first take and then payload map that we saw from the last one. On Hollywood, you're kind of funneled into the choke point over and over again. Nimbadi has a really kind of 4 different ways to attack. There's the lower lane, there's the upper lane, there's the main road, and then there's the side flank. So this is one where mobility means a little bit more, I think, than it did on Hollywood. And Selfless picking this map to play first. They're going to be on attack here, setting the bar for Complexity. Now, I imagine they picked this one because they want to. I feel like they're okay at these maps, but Hollywood is just a weird one for them. Not entering correctly as a team. This is more of like a split up, like you said, create chaos and hope for the best. And in that one, your opponents are so organized because they know where you're coming from.
And this one, what I'm looking for is once that payload point is taken, there's actually some pretty sick bastion spots that are hard to get to.
Robwiz finds himself a shake, and that's a discorded Harblue. Taken down by mostly everyone else. Oh, Orc. Let's drop Robwiz. I tell you what, when Genjis get the reset, it is scary, and Robwiz has been chaining them over and over again. Very clean first take from Selfless on that one. It felt like RobWiz just went completely unnoticed the entire time.
That first point is very hard to defend, though. You talked about it, just creating chaos. You know, you don't really have anything to fall back to.
Yeah.
It's either, you know, you fall back and just let them take the point, or you just get steamrolled over. And, you know, they sort of got steamrolled over and had to fall back and let them take the point.
There we go. This is where I feel like Complexity may have a bit of an advantage, though. Able to kind of collapse on this over and over again. It's like the complete opposite of what we saw last time. It's like a reverse choke.
Yeah.
God, now we have to funnel in.
Everybody take turns.
Here we go. Dragon Blade getting unleashed. RobWiz. Flashbang doesn't go off. That Zarya shield finds himself shake, and RobWiz.
Oh my goodness.
He's shaking and baking right now. That kill, so Dragon Blade's got to be put away, but Iman, in the meantime, in the midst of RobWiz with the Dragon Blade, Iman went unchecked this time.
Yeah.
And just picked up kill after kill here. I feel like Complexity is like falling apart at the hinges almost. They're like focusing one target, and they're losing sight of the rest of the damage.
Yeah. Very true, and not making any switches as far as comp goes here. Actually, they do go over to the Reinhardt as opposed to the Winston, and JKW gets taken down right away. The sound barrier is going to come out, and they are able to clean up some kills here.
That sound barrier was right in the midst of Iman's goal spawn here too, so Torque and Nicholas is going to clean this up. Torque's Dragon Blade was actually countered by the Transcendence from Chile. The thing about it is that only bought them time after that. So right after that, Iman went for that pulse bomb to try to swing that fight back. Boom! Right then that sound barrier got dropped by Joe Meister, able to hold this point very cleanly.
Yeah, really nicely done. And now we're going to see, now that the payload is moving, Reinhardt obviously becomes the better tank choice. So we're going to see both teams sort of migrate towards sort of the same strategy here.
Our blue swapped over to I mean, it's usually on the Roadhog here, right? It's not too effective on this map. Oh, here we go. RobWiz finding 2 kills on Joe Meister and Harblue. Looking for more. Iman's going to take out Torque in the meantime. Man, Dragon Blade just gives such good entries.
Yeah.
And it feels like the team crumbles apart when one Dragon Blade kill goes off.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
even if Genji is not in there doing damage, they're so focused on Genji that they ignore the Tracer, you know? That they ignore the Reinhardt getting in for that perfectly timed Earthshatter. It's like, Genji just, you know, he creates that chaos.
Swapped over to Reaper here for some big stuff. Michael 3D gonna unlaunch the Graviton Surge, but to really no effect. That seems to be a theme sometimes for some of the Selfless guys. I feel like they're using ultimates in positions they don't necessarily need to use them. And over time, that ends up costing you a lot of position. I mean, Zarya's ultimate takes a long time to build, so Michael 3D has to put out quite a bit of extra damage to get back to that point. Now they're back to a real choke point again, right? There's not too many positions to enter. Without Michael 3D's ultimate, this becomes way harder.
Yeah. And we're going to see JKW try and hold this off here.
Nicholas and Harblue pick up kills. Michael 3D returns on Harblue. That Transcendence is going to make sure they can just move on through, force Selfless off the spot. Very easy for them. Once Nicholas got to the back line there, it was just Juvenile taking so much damage, just holding up the shield. Like, I have to ignore this Tracer until my teammate kills him.
Yeah. that seems like Reinhardt's
well, that's Torque this time.
To do.
Oh, and Torque building towards that Dragon Blade.
Yeah, I think this was Complexity, the strategy they were banking on the whole time, you know? They weren't using too many of the resources. They weren't too worried about trying to overextend into holding on a different choke point, because now this one's going to be the hardest one for Selfless to break. And it feels like Complexity, after switching around a little bit of heroes, you know, Harblue, he was having trouble finding the right one. Now he's settled on Reaper, and he's starting to get into that groove, and Complexity's starting to hold on. There comes the sound barrier.
That sound barrier, going to make sure to check that quite a bit. So now RobWiz has his Dragon Blade.
Uh-oh.
Does not, but RobWiz gets dropped here. JKW gets dropped as well. Harblue very low on life, but it's going to escape thanks to that Wraith form. Just step into the Aether and walk away. Finds Juvenile.
Yeah, but in the meantime, his whole team just died.
Iman is just going ham beast.
Damn beast.
I mean, just no one's taking care. It feels like it's either they're taking care of RobWiz or they're taking care of Iman.
Yeah.
And very rarely they're taking care of both. And when they're getting both, it's super easy for them to defend it.
Yeah.
But when they don't pick up both, it's very difficult. Torque jumping to that back line there. Juvenile falls.
All right, well,
finding Dak. Nicholas putting out some good work here, but gets dropped.
and the sort of last-ditch effort here for Complexity. They have to try and hold at this point for as long as possible.
Oh,
there are
that
5 members down now for
but
Selfless.
Once again, Michael 3D uses the Graviton, and no one's there to capitalize. It looked like I swear I thought I saw Graviton surge there.
He died right as it went off, so I guess he hold on to it.
Yeah.
I heard the noise too.
Yeah, as soon as it triggers, if you die right when that happens, your ultimate doesn't go off sometimes. I mean,
lucky him. I mean, he wanted to use it. You could tell, but he caught a little bit of a break. Now they have Earth Shadow, they have Graviton Surge, Pulse Bomb's available. Can combo with those abilities.
Oh, Juvenile looking for it.
Go.
Is he going to find it? Not quite. That Reinhardt shield will stop that. Oh, God, Earth Shatter doesn't catch anything, and now beat gets dropped. Joe Meister for some big ones here, and that is a clean kill from Selfless on that side. That Earth Shatter was in desperation. The Graviton Surge didn't pull any heat from this, and barely anything used from Complexity's side. I mean, they still have Harblue's ult. They still have Nicholas.
That was
JKW's about to have an Earth Shatter.
That was a disaster. I think that was a little bit of miscommunication. Juvenile jumped in, looking like he saw a perfect Earth Shatter, held onto it, but realized he was already too far in deep, so he had to use it in whiff.
Rob looking for that Dragon Blade, but doesn't really find any targets here. Finds himself a target. Can they capitalize on this, though? RobWiz still alive. Oh, misses that dash, though. That is really important to have that mobility. Gets dropped by Nicholas. Iman, look at this duel going on. Here we go. Tracer versus Tracer. Iman's going to pick it off. So a little bit more progress here, trying to get this done. His teammates are so far away. This is not going to work out very well. Pulse Bomb, not quite.
Yeah, and it looks like Complexity might be able to hold. They have the numbers advantage right now at the payload, but Selfless is moving it a bit.
Turning around JKW there, it's always dangerous from the Reinhardt's perspective. Is when you get turned around, it means your back is just open for the taking. Here we go, Dak gonna drop the beat. Can Selfless capitalize on top of this? Michael 3D working on ultimate, not quite there though. Wow, look at that. Across the board, Iman Juvenile going crazy with that Earth Shatter. Juvenile gets dropped though. Yep, not gonna quite get this done, I don't think.
Oh my goodness.
Transcendence held off just long enough. Not gonna recall back, but get picked here. Now it's a 5 versus 6.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Selfless is going to have like one more round of ultimates. Graviton Surge is going to come up. They're going to have to do this in this last overtime push, as they're going to have to group up and come in as a team. Can Complexity hold this one?
Joe Meister's got that beat drop, so it's going to be tough. I mean, everything's going to ride on whether or not Michael 3D can land a great Graviton Surge. So I think if they can manage to actually kill Joe Meister before this Graviton Surge has come in, I think that's an opportunity for them. But here we go, either way. Finds Juvenile, and there's the Earth Shatter. That's going to do it. Wow. Holds it off very cleanly. Nice charge in, nice Earth Shatter from JKW there to hold off that last final push. But quite a bit of distance made here. We've seen Selfless come correct with some really solid defense so far.
Yeah.
I feel like that's honestly kind of been one of their strengths in this series so far is the defense they're putting up.
Yeah, it's been pretty impeccable, and really good call at the last second there. Some teams might have wanted to just sit back and try and defend the point, the final escort point there, but they decided that they just saw a big wave of ultimates being used in the last fight.
Yeah.
So what they did was they decided to be proactive, not allow Selfless to get that last bit of ultimate charge that they needed to make that last push in overtime. And that's why they didn't have Graviton Surge. They didn't have the counter Earth Shatter to stop JKW in his tracks. So
no real initiation tools.
Exactly. So they just kind of had to sit back and let Juvenile get charged into the wall and then just die for free effectively. So now all Complexity has to do is get it there.
Yep. That's it.
That's it. I mean, it sounds easy, but a Nubani.
Oh, it is easy. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
1 versus 6.
I do it like 3 times a day.
It's like a theme of old.
At my level, though, this map is just filled with bastions.
I have no brain, I have no aim. You guessed it right, I'm a bastion main. Is that how the saying goes?
That's exactly right.
Harblu looks like he's going to be hopping back. on Roadhog here. I love to watch Hardblue play Roadhog.
Yeah.
He's so aggressive.
Yeah, and you know, he doesn't play him like a tank, it feels like. He plays it like
a Tracer.
Yeah, he plays it like a Tracer. You know?
I have a recall.
Yeah, Roadhog's like the
breathe some gas.
It's just
We're
like
good.
heal for 400.
Now, granted, I stay in place instead of moving backwards,
Yeah.
but you get the idea.
Yeah. It's like the least mobile character in the game. He's like, I'm going to play it as an assassin.
It's reverse mobility.
Yeah.
Or inverse mobility. It pulls you to them.
Yeah.
Not the other way around. Torque. On his high ground, scouting out the positions as well. So he's relaying that information. As you can see, Complexity hiding out. Looking like they're going to go down aisle 3.
Like, okay, go for the flank. Okay,
they know
take the flank.
Here's
no,
the thing.
do the flank.
They know that those 3 targets are isolated right there. So when they rush in through that point, they have the option either turn around and fight those 3 or try to move their way up onto that balcony, fight some more. But Juvenile gets kills here. A lot of trading going back and forth. Iman gets isolated and dropped down. Complexity. Nicholas just barely staying alive. And Torque trying to find. Oh, does find Chili in that one. Nice deflect there. And Diva gonna get mech'd. Look at JKW just hammering away.
Yeah.
When a Reinhardt gets in your face and you can't kill it, that's scary.
Yeah. Very scary.
Yep. So clean take from Complexity as well. Very clean takes on both sides so far. Torque still getting busy here though. So that Dragon Blade available is going to look for the right moment to unleash the Dragon's Fury.
Yeah. About equal time it took them. I think Selfless actually took the point a little bit faster, but it's all about how far they can get it now. Will Complexity, first off, make that first checkpoint, and then second, actually be able to complete the map? That's going to be the question.
Getting some good movement here. Selfless not quite as aggressively attacking this spot as Complexity did, and that's something really interesting to note. It's the very difference in style. So here we go, the Dragon Blade come out from Torque, trying to get busy and find some stuff. Shut down. Rob Wiz does. Torque finding himself some great kills there. Rob Wiz, Chili, and Michael 3D looking for the 4th. Quite get it.
Poor Diva.
Oh, nice pickup on Iman there as well. I mean, these are just very clean fights from Complexity, and Hardblue has got the whole hog ready for the next one. I'll tell you what, if Selfless is not on point on this defense, you're going to see a very quick win from Complexity.
Well, there is this choke point here going through this tunnel, so we'll see if they can hold it just like Complexity did. Complexity held it for like 5 minutes when they were on defense, so we'll see if Selfless can do the same thing. But it already looks like Complexity has the momentum. Look at this, they've already pushed it through.
Yeah, that fire strike was so brutal. Let's get 200 damage there. Oh, just gonna get dropped, and here we go. I mean, it has to be defensive at this point for Dak. They know they need to initiate on this and get it rolling. Iman and Chili pick up kills. Nicholas returns on Chili. And Iman, wow, doing great work there.
Yeah.
It's off. Joe Meister, wall right out of there.
Really nice cleanup there. They had a maybe, I don't know if I want to call it a miscommunication, but it looked like Dak might have popped the sound barrier to save Juvenile, but he died right as it went off, and then they sort of panicked and said, well, now we have to go. And they went, and Iman just did a really good job of sort of cleaning up the fight, and they were able to sort of stop that push, but that was really close to being disastrous.
Hardblue, but who's going to win this duel? It's barely escaping. Tell you what, Hardblue doesn't have the heal, so does have to back up. Iman knows exactly where he went at this point.
Yeah.
Rob Wiz finds some nice damage in the back.
Lots of ultimates still available for Selfless, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is building to be a major fight. So there we go. Joe Meister's going to drop the beat. Rob Wiz backing off. Trying to find something there. Graviton to the pulse bomb. Wow. 5 for 6 for 0 on Complexity's side. And they still have JKW and Shake's ultimates.
Yeah. This looks like it's going to be a last push here for Complexity, and that's going to be it.
Yep, Complexity just getting the progress they needed. I mean, that last fight, it wasn't really anything flashy. It was just use the ultimates, push them through, win a duel or two, fend off on the right defense. Just, everything was textbook for Complexity on that last push, just using ultimates effectively.
Yeah, and
it was really big story there.
Here it is.
And this Earthshatter.
Earthshatter comes up, gets it, and wow. There you go, just use your ultimates and win the fight.
That poor little helpless robot.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. But yeah, at the end there, I think Selfless needed like 5 more seconds until Death Blossom was going to come up. And, you know, they had the ultimates there to combo, you know, Graviton Surge. And if Death Blossom was up, maybe that would have been a different story. But I don't know, Complexity just looked too strong on that offense. Yeah. And so they're going to take that map and go up 2-1 now in the series. So Selfless's map choice again.
Yeah, that's a harsh one too. When you pick the map and you get beat.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of, your statement is, we're confident here.
Yeah.
And Complexity goes, well, we beat you on that one. And Selfless goes, well, let's go with the second best choice.
I'm looking at this map pool, and I'm not thinking anybody's confident going into any of these ones.
That is a big part of it. I mean, the limited map pool is definitely, I think, restricting a lot of the way the play works. You know, you see so many formats where they're draft banned, and so they need to tailor the map pool to kind of both teams' likings. In this one, it's like, here's your choices. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like normally you see like a best of 3, and it's like Dorado, Kings Row, Hollywood.
Yeah.
Nope.
How about
Temple, Anubis, Ilios, and Nepal?
I want to see a Volskaya thrown in here.
There you go.
As well. Everybody loves Volskaya.
Yeah.
I really like the aesthetics of the map.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll give that.
Yeah.
Feels a little bit tough to defend, but you know.
Yeah, Route 66 was, you know, has been my favorite map for a long time, but that map it's
brutal.
It's nuts.
The amount of Z-axis going on in that one. I always feel like there's a Genji flipping over my head.
Yeah.
No matter where I am, like I could just be like in a stall in a corner.
Yeah.
Somehow there's a Genji behind me.
It melds through the wall.
It's like T1000 when he's like walking through the bars in the jail.
Yeah. Hey, you don't even know what's happening. He just slices you anyway. Well, we'll see what Selfless is going to go with, but they need a mount to come back now.
Yeah, down 2 games, have to win 2 straight if they're going to.
2 straight.
Yep. So it will be tiebreaker map if they manage to win the 4th map here.
Yeah.
But you got to win the 4th one here, or that's it. Your road today has come to an end.
Yeah. So Selfless actually went ahead and picked Ilios as their map.
Okay.
So we should be jumping into the match momentarily, but I mean, I think that's the lesser of the 3 evils as far as map choices go.
Yeah.
That's a little bit interesting. No payload mechanic going on in this one.
Just straight up brawls.
Good old-fashioned control points. That's what it's going to be all about.
Given what we've seen so far, too, I feel like this is really going to favor Complexity. It feels like in every single one of the duels that they've just been getting the better of it. Really, the situations where we've been seeing Selfless really perform is when either Ebon or RobWiz can go unchecked for a duration of time, and then they chain together a bunch of kills. That seems to be like their big progress they're making. So on Ilios, there's a lot of opportunity for that, but at the same time, you're having to fight head-to-head constantly on that one. There's a lot less fancy work to be done and a lot more, again, just kind of just straight up brawling.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's coming down to sort of the initiations. It seems like Michael 3D, who has sort of been playing the, I guess, secondary tank for Selfless, has sort of just been, you know, throwing out ultimates. Really liked his Mei early on Hollywood, but, you know, then they ended up falling a little bit towards the end there. But his Zarya, he's been throwing out good Graviton surges, just not at the right times.
Yeah.
And
catching targets is part 1.
Yeah, catching targets when your team is there to follow up is part 2. And I think a combination of those 2 things is going to help them out. But, you know, Torque on that Genji, when he goes off, it's hard to win.
I almost kind of wish I could just ban away Torque's Genji so I wouldn't have to play against it.
Ban, class bans.
Like you know, I've been playing like a lot of competitive lately.
Yeah.
And there's one player, like I'm not like at the top of the ladder or anything. I'm just in my general skill rating. This guy Korea, and he's so good on Genji, but he's a little bit inconsistent. But he's so good. There are times when I'm playing the map, I'm like, I really wish I could ban Korea off Genji right now. I think we'd actually win.
Yeah. Yeah. Down at my rank, there's this guy, Poop Feast 420. His Torbjorn is just off the charts.
He's had 4 straight play of the games where all he's doing is hammering the turret.
It's like his turret's auto-lock on me or something.
Here we go. Winston's on both sides, Harblue and Juvenile, respectively. See, always that fight breaks around that little pack.
Yeah.
Move their way forward. Torque, a little bit low, picks up a Harmony Orb. RobWiz getting dropped. Needs to find that health pack. Picks it up, but I don't know if he can win this fight at this point. No, I'm going to get dropped. AKW gets dropped in the meantime as well.
Yeah.
And still alive. Yep, that's 3 kills versus what looks like 1 so far for Selfless, so Complexity going to easily take this point.
Yeah. Initial take. That's what you want, but the initial take doesn't necessarily mean you have a big advantage, because that also means that you have to defend that point, which means you're grouped up, which means the other team can coordinate on you a little bit more effectively.
That's where Nicholas comes in, trying to find a pulse bomb target. Does not stick anyone, but Dak's going to get dropped. Here we go.
Yeah.
Image is always so scary until it's dropped. Yeah, everyone's just getting picked apart here. And again, this is kind of what I feared here. Oh my gosh, Torque just going nutso.
Yeah, the combo of Torque and Nicholas, they're just, you know, they're not staying around the point. They're out across the map, isolating targets and taking heat effectively from the rest of the team. And they pick off one member, all of a sudden that assault is stopped in its tracks. Selfish GG has to go back, wait for those members to spawn, and then try and go for it. Yeah, 43% now for Complexity, and it doesn't look like they're giving up this point anytime soon.
And that's sort of the thing, is like when you kind of funnel into that aisle that way, if Nicholas is behind them and Torque's in front of them, they have to pick one side or the other. So either way, they're already splitting their units. And Juvenile going full Harambe here, knocking him off the map. But Torque, Heartblue, and Joe Meister getting some work done. Did he just jump back on? Juvenile, okay, jumping off the point here. He's trying to get the kills reset at the right time here. That was not an accident. That's an intentional death there. Trying to get everyone to respawn at the same time so they can get one more push going here. Because at 70%, I mean, it's got to give like right now.
You do not want to stagger deaths. You want to go for one last push, take the point, and go for it. So a smart play here by Selfless, but we'll see if they're even going to be able to take this point.
Oh, Michael 3D, it's caught in that Graviton surge, so looking for his own. Heartblue, a little bit of damage here, but it's not going to get. Joe Meister actually picks up 3 kills in the midst of that. Once they're all funneled into one spot.
Yeah.
And when that's happening, it's allowing Torque and Nicholas, or Torque or Nicholas, to get behind them. It's diverting some of the attention, and then just fire can rain in from one direction and pick everything off. And so here's the desperation. Chili goes in, Beat gets dropped. Torque's got Dragon Blade though, and that's going to be it. I mean, Shake wins that support battle. Yeah, just nothing given there for Selfless. At every single step of the way, they were funneled into a hallway, and Complexity just has more firepower.
Easy first point. There was one point in that map where Selfless 4 members died, all with ultimates up. Sound Barrier up, Graviton Surge up, Pulse Bomb up. Even though Pulse Bomb can get recharged pretty quickly, it's not as impactful of an ultimate like Graviton Surge. But still, you know, that's sort of unacceptable, and that's just on Torque and Nicholas.
It's an honor to meet a member of the Shambali.
Creating havoc, and Selfless is like, can we go in now? Can we go in now? And then one guy says, no, I'm dead. And they're like, okay, everybody back off. Oh, no, I'm dead too.
Yeah, they're getting chased down at that point too, because once the 5 versus 6 happens and you have that flank on the backside, how does Tracer stay so still? She should be a photographer if she can stay that still. Jeez. Yeah. Every time I take a picture, it ends up blurry.
Should be a sniper. That's what it should be. Get rid of those pistols.
Those little pellet guns.
Yeah. All right, well, second point here on Ilios.
Early,
nobody wants to go to the well, so Complexity is going to want to close this out.
Here we go, looking for some entries here. But once again, it's just Complexity winning all the duels back and forth. And Shake able to apply that Discord and just use the distance. You know, on this one, the lanes are fairly defined in terms of where you're going to be coming from. Yeah. So, quite literally, Shake is free to just throw a Discord on whoever's in front and then just keep launching orbs down that spot. And if you have to funnel in, it's not going to work that well. You need to get somebody in the back line, like Rob Wiz, Iman, or Juvenile is going to have to do something there. But Juvenile is effectively the tank here. He's got to be the one protecting that front line so they can get some right position.
Yeah. It seems like these 3 control point maps come down to like just raw mechanical skill almost. Yeah. It feels like Complexity has just been outclassing Selfless on these openings, and then they've just been taking the momentum from the opening. Look at that.
Just not the right spot to go in for Juvenile there. That was a 90 charge. JKW, and I'll tell you what, fighting Azaria while they have those big charges, it's a losing proposition.
Yeah, and now big ultimates up here for Complexity. Dragon Blade, they have the Primal Rage, plus the Sound Barrier. Even if Selfless does manage to make a push.
Yep, Rob Wiz gets found there by Torque.
They have no need to even use their ultimates. It doesn't even matter.
Just getting picked off over and over again. I mean, just the teamwork from Complexity. They're setting up the right crossfires, they're holding the right points, and then they're winning the aim duels.
Yeah.
And that's a very important thing when you come to a map like this. You have to be able to get those entry kills. Look at Heartblue just finding Chili here. The back. Does kind of waste that shield. There's a Graviton Surge.
There it is.
Oh my. They're both going monkey. Juvenile and Hardblue, but I'll tell you who's losing. Well, Complexity ends up dropping on this one. RobWiz went crazy with that Dragon Blade. Wish we could have caught a glimpse of exactly how that happened. Will get dropped eventually.
Yeah, from my perspective, I just saw a Graviton Surge, then a Primal Rage right into it. But apparently RobWiz was on the back line just picking off members of Complexity. And finally, Selfless manages to gain control of this point.
Here we go. So, percentage taken away. Here's the deal, too. That actually was a big fight for them because they still have Michael 3D and Emon's ultimate.
Yeah.
So I think they're able to even hold off something here. Now, Michael 3D is a bit isolated on that side. Oh, this is going to be the Graviton right here.
Oh,
here we go.
That's 5 man.
Beat gets dropped, though. Damage just pouring in. Hardblue's going to get dropped. Here we go. Dak is down in the meantime. Torque, Joe Meister are both down. Nicholas, focus target here. So close to that ultimate, but not quite to get it done. And that's going to be another cleanup for Selfless here. So now,
those were the Graviton Surges that I wanted to see in the last couple games.
Here's the deal.
They had to follow up. He hit, I think, either 4 or 5 members. Even though they didn't manage to like wombo combo kill them right there, they caused enough damage and enough chaos to where the rest of Selfless were able to pick off some kills. Emon GG was able to get the flank onto Nicholas and take out, win that Tracer versus Tracer.
Juvenile is going to look for it here. Nice. Jump in and get that shield down and catch that crossfire. JKW and Nicholas.
There he goes.
Nicholas, he's going to get knocked off. He just gets blinked away. Not quite going to make it. It's a nice breakdown from Dak as well. This is going to be a tough one to hold. Nicholas is putting out a lot of damage. Juvenile gets isolated, so he's going to drop Torque in the meantime. Finds Dak as well. Nicholas trying to win that last little fight. Well,
Selfless is still holding on to the point. Emon just running around trying to cause chaos. He did go down.
Oh, that's a nice bunch of damage there from Nicholas, buying his team some time. I mean, this is it. 97%. They have to get on the point. Pulse Bomb, try to hold something off here. Chili gets dropped. And there we go. RobWiz with that Death Pulse. I mean, that might be enough to hold it. Shake's going to take him out in the meantime. It's Emon and Dak. They have to hold this. Emon picks up a kill.
I mean, there's only one player up. Hardblue's the only member up for Complexity. Now JKW, but Self is able to take back the point at 99%. This one's going to be so close. No ultimates available for Complexity.
Yeah.
So when they come back in here, I mean, I don't even know. It's going to be both Transcendents available, and that's going to be it. So we're on even footing now.
Hard to hold this.
Here we go.
Yep. The big one there is that finally it worked out for them. Those aggressive pushes. So there's the first Transcendence. Dropped out.
It all comes down to this. Overtime,
so low.
99% apiece.
Not quite there. There's the beat drop. Chili gets dropped. Dak gets dropped. It's up to Juvenile in the monkey mode to try to get this done. There we go. Torque is so low. He's going to get dropped with that Dragon Blade up. The self-destruct. Not quite there. Nicholas is just by himself. I think that's it. Selfless is going to take this map. I'm sorry, this particular
control point.
Yeah.
They're going to the well. That's all I care about.
Chaos was created. Two big things happened on that particular point. The first one was the 6-person Graviton Surge, and it wasn't one in desperation. It was an initiated one. So at that point, Emon was able to blink in there, get that Pulse Bomb going, and then everything followed up in their way. Just even despite the fact that Joe Meister had the beat drop, the amount of damage being put out when you're grouped up as 6 people like that is just too much.
Yeah.
Then on the return attack, RobWiz able to find his way in there after they had lost the fight after that, and the Death Blossom plus just the attacks from the left click, he's able to pick up some kills, create some more chaos. They buy just enough time for the team to show up. Reinforcements clean it up.
All right, well, last control point here on Ilios. Winner take all.
This is a best of 5 here, right? Oh.
Is it? Oh, okay,
So, yeah. Torque finding his nice fire there on the side. Emon gets dropped. Hardblue a little bit low. Ooh, nice catch by Torque there. Using those dashes at just the right times. Finds another one. It's another reset. Yep. Complexity can take this point very cleanly. Torque just once again went completely ignored on the left side. Found a couple of resets on those dashes.
All right, well, they're starting to wrestle control over this, and this one's really hard to take back because there's really only two main paths that you can come back to the center of this point with. And Tracer sort of getting into that backline and wreaking havoc is key to this fight.
Chili a little bit too far forward. Harblue, JKW, and Harblue and Nicholas get dropped. JKW gets a lot of damage here, but they found the kill on Chili early, which cut a lot of their heals. Then Rob, Wiz, and Juvenile both fell after that, and Dak as well. Michael 3D's building up a big charge, though. So this is going to be the push, I think, where Selfless really looks for it. Michael 3D is going to have about a 50 to 100 charge, somewhere in that range, when they initiate this fight again. Graviton Surge is coming up, and Torque at Dragon Blade could really change things. I mean, the ult advantage is heavily in Complexity side right now.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the Graviton. JKW just firing away. Michael 3D knows he just has to save, sacrifice.
Torque just held on to the Dragon Blade. He said, I didn't even need to use it.
Well, I'll tell you what. That ult from Juvenile was probably a bit wasted. I mean, I could see what they were trying to go for there, but at the end of the day, that ultimate I think is just thrown away.
Yeah,
not too much was used on Complexity side, and the fact that that's going to cut into the amount of HP he's going to have on this next take, because they have to take it here. It's at 75%. They need everything they can get. That extra HP could really make a difference.
Yeah, you can see that Complexity realized, hey, we can win this fight without using all of these ults. So hold on to Dragon Blade, hold on to Transcendence, and we'll use those for the next engagement.
Just finding nice kills and going to look for this pulse bomb here in just a second. As soon as his Transcendence is finished, he's going to look for his targets. Rob Wiz get isolated here, gets dropped by Nicholas as well. Again, he's just going completely unchecked. These fights, fighting around the health pack as well. Finds himself a little genie, robotic genie that heals things. Chili going to get taken down as well. Just great string of kills here for Nicholas. Torque going to unleash that Dragon Blade. Here we go, self-destruct.
Uh-oh. Still just all these members from Selfless just getting right forward, dead. 5 to his deck's gonna go down, but not quite, but it doesn't matter as that's gonna be the control point going over to Complexity.
Yep. So round 3 is done now. Complexity up 2 points to 1. And this is it. If Selfless loses this next point, they are out of the tournament.
Yeah.
Now, this is the one they won though, so I think they're pretty happy to be seeing this one.
Yeah. But it was very chaotic, to say the least.
Yeah. It's kind of one of the times that the chaos actually worked in their favor as well. Like on that one, I feel like because the movement is a little bit more predictable in terms of where the entries are coming from, Nicholas and Torque can fight around that a lot better and just isolate targets and pick up free kills.
Yeah.
And that's what happened the entirety of last point.
All right, well, we'll see if Selfless is going to be able to repeat here.
Yep, Rob was back on Genji. Harblue swapped over to Reaper here.
Well, he had a lot of success with Reaper towards the, or actually, no, wasn't Rob Wiz who had a lot of success with the Reaper on the end, sort of 5 seconds of the last match because of that Death Blossom.
Himself a Juvenile. Juvenile gets dropped here. Oh, there's Azaria with a Discord. Yeah, that's an easy pickup.
I think Complexity sort of realized that the last time they should have won this, but they panicked a little at the end when they lost the point. And now they're saying, you know what? No more time for games.
Watching the Lucio just fly out into the ocean.
Yeah.
That's the way I want to go out, TJ.
It's beautiful.
Whenever it's time for me to go, don't do one of those things like when you let me die first and spread my ashes on the ocean. Just throw me overboard right then.
I'm going to be there when you die? Oh, God. That's a lot of responsibility.
Well, it's happening right after this. So.
And right before you die, I'll put magical skate shoes on your feet.
Hopefully we'll be at that point in the future. Chili, Michael 3D getting dropped very quickly. Rob Wiz did something dumb, but no there. Juvenile getting dropped as well. Harblue is going nuts.
Yeah.
On this Reaper. He's feeling confident. He's picking up the kills.
Yeah. And now Death Blossom is ready. We'll see if he can find a sneaky little spot to get it, but he's just going to wait here on the point, right at the bottom of the ramp here. So they're going to try and funnel them in, try and get a big combo off here.
Well, not quite. I really thought he was going to go for it.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
It's almost like they forgot where he was. Picks up Chili. Fofery. Torque. Harblue also doing work on the other side as well, but nice combination with the movement of Harblue and Nicholas. Nicholas just always being in the back. I mean, you have one or two options. Number one, turn around, try to fight Nicholas. He's going to blink away. Number 2, let the Tracer just shoot you. Complexity is just, they're winning every duel, and they're isolating targets with 2 members at one time and just one by one picking off all of Selfless.
Yeah, we didn't get to see the Death Blossom, but it did take out 2 in damage. And additional 1 took out Dak and Chili right off the bat. So
right, the Torque is playing from 2. Graviton Surge going to come out here, and Torque, that's when he's going to unleash the Dragon Blade. And here we go, finds himself Chili. Pick it up. Oh, knocks out Rob Wiz.
Oh my goodness.
As well.
That was
the height
slaughter.
That Torque was playing from. Eventually, the Dragon Blade came out, and that was where everyone's kind of attention, I think, turned to, and that allowed Nicholas to once again have free reign here. Very easy from Complexity to hold this one. I mean, just really showing you kind of the difference between these 2 teams, despite the fact that in terms of rankings, they're fairly close.
Yeah.
The difference in individual skill, I think, really shining in this match. Selfless, just, they're a bit outmatched here.
Yeah. So Complexity is going to take the map, and that means they take the series 3-1 over Selfless, and they're going to move on to the King of the Hill finals for this first week. Yeah, pretty nice. And you know, despite that shaky first game there, for Complexity, they looked pretty solid overall. You know, once they got warmed up, they had a couple you know, rough points, but other than that, it was really solid play.
Yeah, I mean, just the first map just went all in Selfless' favor. They held defense after defense, and Rob Wiz was kind of in the position that we often saw Torque or Nicholas in, where just being completely ignored and able to just chain kills together. The last maps, though, just nothing was going on for it, and then Complexity on the last map, again, it's head-to-head. You're having to win these duels, and Selfless just wasn't winning them.
Yeah, so of course this is week number 1 of King of the Hill. Unfortunately, we weren't able to broadcast last week like was planned because of some server issues, but this will be happening for 6 or 7 more weeks. And every week we're going to have an open portion after this week once we decide that initial king. So if you guys want to participate in the ESL King of the Hill, you can play the open over at esl.gg/KOTHOW. Stands for King of the Hill Overwatch. The winner of that open gets seeded into that week's King of the Hill. Well, they'll get to face off against an invited team, and if they win, you get to face off against the previous week's king. So if you want a chance to play in the King of the Hill, if you think your team has what it takes, make sure you head over there and sign up.
Yep, $1,000 every week. You're the king, so you can net yourself a lot of cash. And for those of you watching, a lot of weeks of this King of the Hill are going to be going on. So if you want to catch all the action, make sure you follow the channel here. This is where they'll be broadcast every single week on Tuesday. Yeah. It's going to be more Hearthstone and more Overwatch.
Yeah, twitch.tv/ESL. Also, follow ESL Overwatch on Twitter. It's going to be fantastic. We are going to move into the next match in just a moment. It's going to be Team Liquid taking on Sody Pop. But before we jump into that match, we are going to have to go to a quick break. But don't go anywhere, guys. More ESL King of the Hill Overwatch right after this.